Hello and welcome back to Cycling to Adventure. Today I like to talk about how I plan my ultra distance rides and especially how I break them down and what I look into, and maybe you'll find some helpful tips for your ultra here. And this one is especially now for my upcoming ride, London-Edinburgh-London, but you can use it actually for any other ultra distance ride or race you are planning. Let's little bit about ultra. What is ultra? Ultra is for everybody what he decides on distance he like to ride and what is for him a very long distance. So myself, I have three categories for myself for ultra distance. One is the one I do myself, where I testing out how far I can go, say in 24 hours, which I have done once. There's a video on my channel about that. Then there are ultra distance races where you have to pass checkpoints along the way. You can plan the route yourself, you just have to go to the checkpoints. And then there are ultra distance rides like the London-Edinburgh-London, where you have to follow a fixed route and passing all the checkpoints along the way. And I will break down for this ride of London-Edinburgh-London how I plan and what I'm looking into. So let's start. So the ride will be 1,500 kilometers. You have time of 125 hours, so that's 5 days. I am not racing. I am targeting to finish the rides, and that's my preference. So let's start where I start on this. So the route is fixed for this ride, so I not have to plan anything which way I go. So now I start and breaking down, and I start with what will be my speed I am trying to achieve on this ride. And for me, it's like getting on this ride. I will aim for, as I say, 5 days, every day 300 kilometers. My average speed should be around 19 to 20 kilometers an hour, which gives me 15 to 16 hours saddle time. I will try to stay on the 20 kilometers per hour, so 15 hours in the saddle, which leaves me with 9 hours of rest in total. So I'm looking into having a break for sleep of around 5 hours, and this 5 hours includes getting ready, having a shower, finding your sleep, and then get a good sleep, hopefully for around 4 hours, which left me with 4 hours left doing the right time of the 300 kilometers to put in some breaks. So I'm aiming for breaks every 50 kilometers. I like to have a stop for at least 20 minutes. So if I do every 50k like a half an hour break, look on the map in advance where exactly will be the break. Maybe there's a small coffee shop, supermarket, or gasoline station where you can get some water and some snacks to keep you going. So if I do a half an hour every 50 kilometers, this makes on 250 kilometers exactly 2.5 hours, which will leave me with 1.5 hour spare on the end of the day. So this gives me good possibilities either to sleep longer, or if necessary do longer breaks, or catch up in distance if I not having my 20 k's an hour reached. So let's break down the days of the London-Edinburgh-London. So day one I start or I hope to start at 5 o'clock in the morning. Go steady and don't push too hard on your first days. Try really to keep in your heart rate zone, or maybe you have a power meter. The first checkpoint will be around 110 kilometers, so I will aim for my first break somewhere at 55. And then the next break again around 150, 160 kilometers before we come to the second checkpoint of 220, and then another one maybe at 260, and then at 300 where we reach the first major checkpoint, where I will sleep in the dormitory if I find a space. I have a small sleep set up with me, so if the weather is very, very good, maybe I find a place somewhere roadside, have a bottle of water, wash myself, sleep somewhere on the side, or maybe find a cheap Airbnb or cheap hotel, whatever is your preference and where you feel comfortable to sleep. On the first day, on the first checkpoint of 300 kilometers, I also have a drop bag, so I can change my clothes, my bib shorts, my shirt, my socks to after the shower, so you're feeling fresh and keep going for the second day. And it just repeats the same on the first day. I will try to keep on my 20 kilometers an hour and have exactly the same rhythm than on the first day, where you come and pass the checkpoints. Try and stick to my 50 kilometers, having a rest 20 to 30 minutes, and this will be for all the days we keep going. So, but of course you always have to look for things you cannot predict and what can happen, and so this section is of planning what might happen along the way. Why this plan I have for me on the ultras will work for me has a few points. One is I'm comfortable in riding 20 kilometers an hour in average. I have done many times, so that's my personal preference. I know I can be faster, but as I say, I want to use the full 5 days to finish this ride. As well, I get a good amount of sleep. If everything works out well, I will have my 4 to 5 hours sleep in the night, which is very, very important. I have my short stops where I can relax and stretch a little bit my muscles to keep seated for this 5 days in the saddle. This is very, very tough, and I will try to use the full 125 hours available to me. As well, I have some backup scenarios for problems along the way, like mechanical problems, so make sure that you know your bike very well and know how to fix the smaller problems you maybe have along the way, like a puncture. If you have a puncture, know how to fix your tire, keep calm. I know tubeless is a very good option and I'll be using it a long time, but I have also experienced the negative of tubeless, and that's why I'm now on TPU tubes. So make sure you know how to fix a flat tire. As well, make sure how to fix maybe a broken chain, so have a missing link with you. All can happen, especially when you push up the hills, so be careful. Before the race or before the ultras, especially like London-Edinburgh-London, check your bike that everything is okay. Brake pads, normally I put new brake pads in for this ride, but I have a spare part or one spare set of brake pads with me. You never know what happened. It is always useful to have. If you have an electronic group set, like Di2 or SRAM, make sure you have a spare battery or your batteries are full charged. I having SRAM, so a spare battery with me. As well, I have the charger with me, so if I sleep somewhere or in a coffee stop, I can charge mainly my power bank. I will charge, and then on the right charge the electronics I need to keep running. Like you have a phone with you, you have your bike computer. I'm using my camera for documentation of this ride, so I need quite a lot of power with me. So I carry a 20,000 milliampere power bank from Anker with me, plus a 100 watt charger, which can charge the power bank from 0 to 100 in an hour. This can be easily done on a coffee stop or where you sleep. Maybe there's space, so it will be very helpful to have this with you. Yeah, weather. I made a video about this. Have a look on my channel, London-Edinburgh-London weather. 2022, the weather was absolute stunning, beautiful days. So let's hope we have the same again. But again, have a backup plan for the weather. Carry a lightweight rain jacket with you, maybe some waterproof gloves. It's nice to have dry hands, and some overshoes. It's nice to have dry feet. The rest you actually can deal with along the way. Maybe have some leg warmers and some arm warmers with you. It gets very, very cold in the night. If you're running through the night, this will be very, very helpful. And there can be easily in the night temperatures in the single digits or even close to zero up in the highlands of Scotland. Wind, yes. So you have to look into where the wind is coming from, and maybe it changes at the half of the ride. First you ride into the wind, and when you turn around you ride into the wind again. So will you be able to keep up your speed, or do you need to cut down on rest hours, sit longer in the saddle to catch up? So bear this in mind, you always need a backup plan for the weather situation. Another backup plan, of course, if you fall too much behind time, and listen to your body. If your body tells you it's finished and you cannot do it anymore, try to finish the ride even if you're out of the time. It doesn't matter. You do it for yourself. If you need 6 days, then you need 6 days. Just keep going. It is for you, for nobody else. But maybe you can cut down in rest hours, or maybe you can cut down 1 or 2 hours sleep on the last day, which can bring you another 30, 40 or 50 kilometers back on track. So bear this in mind, have a good backup plan for your rest and sleep. That's why I'm planning with a lot of rest hours. If you listened before, I have a 1.5 hour spare a day, which I will use wherever I can, either to have more sleep or to catch up in time. So as well, have a backup plan for if you have an emergency, if you have an accident, know where's the next town. When you have problems with your bike, maybe know where's the next town, check on Google. Maybe you can get to a bike shop and then back on the route. If you're falling into a hole of motivation, have a number you can call of a friend or of your wife, of your partner, who can push you up again and keep you going. Sometimes we get into these holes, and sometimes we just think enough is enough, and a good talk to somebody can help you to keep you going. If you have any problems along the ride, there are repairs on the big checkpoints. There are also some MIDI people on the checkpoints who can help you with smaller niggles if you have blisters or you need anything. Bear in mind, there is help for you. Make use of it if you need it. They're very, very good. have a printed emergency checklist with you, especially with numbers you maybe need to call along the way to keep in contact with the organizers or whoever you need to call. Finally, stay flexible. Stay flexible and keep moving. As I say, this is every ultra you ride, it's for you, for nobody else. You not have to prove to anybody else but yourself what you want to achieve. And flexibility on these rides it's very important. If you feel you need a break, take a break. If you feel it needs a long one, you need a longer one, take a longer one, it doesn't matter. So we break down the days on London-Edinburgh-London, and this is actually what I do for every ultra I plan. I look at the map, I look where are good places along the way, where to stop, so that I not have to do any rerouting and go into a town and then come back to the race line. As I say, some races you plan your own route, you just have to pass the checkpoints. Some other ultra distance rides like London-Edinburgh-London has a fixed route, where are the checkpoints. So if you leave the route, you have to come back to the place where you have left the route to continue. Bear this in mind. So look where are good places to buy something. Maybe you buy it early and you ride, and maybe you find a nice spot where you like to sit down and take your rest. That's another possibility. So if you see a place where you can buy things, buy it, put it on your, shuffle it on your bike, and then continue. And there are lots of beautiful viewpoints and places to sit. It's nice to sit somewhere along the road, seeing the riders passing by while you may be eating something and having a rest, doing some pictures, and it's also nice just to enjoy the ride. That's the main thing actually on the whole ride of London-Edinburgh-London. See you on the road. Bye.